around the hospital, but inside the hospital, all of the people in the hospital are civilians.
The US president, however, maintains that Hamas is operating from Gaza's largest hospital, but has failed to provide evidence.
One thing has been established is that Hamas does have headquarters, weapons, material below this hospital, and I suspect others.
I won't. Yes. Yes.
Despite calls for a ceasefire from around the world and the UN Security Council passing a resolution calling for extended humanitarian pauses, Israel's attacks haven't stopped. The US leader says it is not realistic to expect Israel to stop its war on Gaza. Hospitals are protected under international humanitarian law, but in Israel's military operation, they're a target.
Israel's military incursion into Alshifa hospital in Gaza City is totally unacceptable. Hospitals are not battlegrounds. We're extremely worried for the safety of staff and patients. Protecting them is paramount.
Hundreds of patients are lining the hospital's corridors, while thousands more Palestinians are sheltering within the Alshifa compound. They have nowhere else to go, as Israel's bombing continues relentlessly across the street.
Senior political analyst, Marwan, I mean, we've seen so much civilian infrastructure being hit by Israeli airstrikes. You've been saying this is a war on hospitals. It's also a war on schools, on shelters, on homes.
And Fakhura School is like Al-Shifa hospital, in the sense that Fakhura School is like the Shifa of schools in Gaza.
Okay.
It's been bombed, it's been targeted like a Shifa was. In fact, before the Israeli spinners come on the various media outlets to explain and to lie about what happened in Fakhura just now, let us remind our viewers around the world that this school in this refugee camp was bombed in 2009. It was bombed in 2014.
Yeah.
It was bombed early in this month, in November 4th. The fact that a school is not just attacked, it's bombed from the air, which means there's absolutely nothing discriminate about the fact that a school that shelters thousands of people has been bombed from the air. That is meant to create damage, human loss, suffering, and deaths. Because when you attack a hospital with such a concentration of people taking refuge in the school, you are sending a message that is more than I am going after, I don't know what, Hamas fighters here and there.
Yeah.
What it's saying is, I want people to be driven out. I want people to pay a price. I want people to die. So once again, just to summarize so our viewers around the world don't get confused about some detail or another. This school was bombed in 2009, 2014, and 2023, and this is the second time this month that has been bombed.
And we're seeing the human toll of that right now on our screens. What is the Jabalia refugee camp now to Israeli forces? Clearly, there's a huge military focus on this refugee camp. And for our viewers from around the world, what does it mean for the Israeli army?
You know, just generally speaking, and just for our viewers around the world who were of a certain age, I would say something like it's Soweto, of Palestine, right? Like Soweto of South Africa. I mean, it is a place where it's, of course, a refugee camp, right? So it's another.
Welcome to my channel. So we are still on the Israel-Palestine conflict. As you have seen there, now it seems like a school has been hit. That school is being run by the UN agency. And I think another school has been hit again. So today, two schools have been hit. There's that Al-Fakhura school, and then there's another one which is called Tel something. I've forgotten his name. So two schools have been hit today, two schools. And of course, IDF will say that Hamas fighters may be hiding in those schools. So those schools are located in the near Jabalia refugee camp. where people were taking shelter, and the schools were hit, they were bombed from the air. So things are getting very hot here. But now today I want to look at the US, because it seems like US is being trapped with its connection with Israel, because US is supporting Israel. And even after the Israeli raid on Alshifa hospital, as you have seen there, the US President Biden fully backed Israel by saying that there's evidence that Hamas is having the operations under the Alshifa hospital. But so far, there has been no serious evidence of a command center, as Israel had said. They've only shown some weapons, some AK-47 weapons, but there's no evidence of a command center so far. But US and Israel are saying that there's clear evidence, and Israel had every evidence to attack that hospital. And I suspect that the number of casualties is not very much said, is not very much revealed. There's so much censorship. But I commend Al Jazeera for their coverage, and like many other Western media. So today I want us to look at the US role, because US is risking isolation because of its strong support for Israel. This is very surprising, because US is an icon of human rights, and so far there's been so much war crime in this Israel-Palestine conflict, so much by both Hamas and even Israel. But US is seriously supporting Israel, regardless of all these war crimes. UN has condemned Israel so much, and so far, like you have seen, there's been no ceasefire resolution, because US has blocked and vetoed any UN resolution for ceasefire, because they're saying that Israel has a right to defend themselves. So it's like US is risking everything to support Israel. But there has been reports that US has been pressurizing Israel to go slow on these activities, on the operations. But that pressure has been done underground. But on the surface, US is risking all to support Israel. So what we are seeing currently is that in the world, more people are supporting Palestine. The support for Palestine is growing. Because when this conflict started, we saw most of the Europe was supporting Israel. Even today, most of the Western Europe, like Britain, of course, Germany, even France, even Italy, they are all backing Israel. But we are seeing so far, some of these Western European countries are beginning to condemn Israel more openly than before, which shows that more people are starting to support Palestine, or Palestine is gaining more sympathy. So it seems like Hamas, they are winning this war based on sympathy they're gaining from the world. Because so far, US is openly supporting Israel. And they're not even condemning some of these civilian atrocities. Like today, the school which has been hit by Israel today, that school, Al-Fakura School in Jabalia refugee camp, that school is run by UN agency. So we are saying that Israel has actually attacked a UN facility. That's very serious. Very serious. So this conflict is crossing the line. And from what you have seen, US is on the side of Israel. US and UK. So you see, even here you have the US warship, Gerald Ford, is stationed there, plus another one of USS Eisenhower. So US is supporting Israel in terms of most of these weapons which are being used by Israel, even money and other things. UK too, Their worship is stationed there. Eh? So these countries of Western Europe, especially US and UK, they are giving all full backing of Israel. But at this time, we are seeing that attack on Alshifa and even this school of Al-Fakura and others, it's like it has crossed the line. In terms of war crime and humanitarian law, these are UN laws. This war has crossed the line. So unless US and UK and these Western Europe countries, they condemn Israel, they'll go down with Israel. So far, it seems like these countries are trapped with Israel. The US is trapped with Israel. They'll go down together with Israel because so far, a lot of red lines have been crossed in this conflict. The images we are seeing on Al Jazeera, like that second video that we have seen of Al Jazeera, I had to censor the video because they were very graphic. Images of kids who are deleted, and even people, bodies. So that means that those are the images from the school, Al-Fakura school. Children deleted. So red lines have been crossed. So I know most of the Western media will not talk about this as censoring, but why is law being handled partially? Why is this war, all these Geneva laws are being thrown out of the window? So that's one of the questions that US and the UK and these Western Europe countries will have to answer. Because the whole world is seeing this, what's happening right now. It's like a lot of laws are being violated, humanitarian laws, and nothing is being done. UN has been handicapped. There's no ceasefire. So this week, a hospital has been attacked, and now schools have been attacked also. 2 schools. And hundreds have died. So what we are seeing, it seems like Hamas is winning this war in terms of sympathy. If there was a trap to put Israel, it seems like Israel and the US, they are fallen in that trap, the trap of Hamas. This thing could have stopped maybe a week after the October 7th. But now it is getting too much. Schools are being attacked, hospitals. We saw images of babies in incubators. So it's getting out of hand. And I know Israel, they have a right to defend themselves just like any other country. But to the world, the way they're going about it leaves a lot of questions. There's so much war crime happening. Civilian lives are being lost every single day. UN has warned. Now even the UN facility, UN school, Al-Fakura has been attacked. Gaza's biggest hospital, Alshifa, has been attacked. People are being forced to leave that area. That is forced evacuation. So red lines are being crossed every single day. And still the US is supporting Israel openly. So if this doesn't stop, I'm foreseeing, this is my personal view, because as you can see, Palestine is getting more support worldwide. Social media and all over, even the media. I know the mainstream media can't cover these things, except Al Jazeera. But TikTok and other area, YouTube, the truth is being shown. Red lines are being crossed. As a result, Palestine is gaining more sympathy and more support, like this London protest, where hundreds of thousands of protesters were there. And even the UK Home Secretary Braverman was sacked because of she tried to stop it. So things are changing on the ground. Currently, some of the Western countries, which before could not condemn Israel, they are now coming out openly to condemn Israel. Like this Spanish minister, she's even calling that, she's asking Spain to cut ties with Israel because of the Gaza operation. This was unheard of before, which shows that Israel is losing allies. This lady is a Spanish minister. She's calling on Spain to cut ties with Israel. And then Canada's Prime Minister, Trudeau, also, he has condemned Netanyahu. In fact, they had a spat with Netanyahu this week because Canada is telling Israel to stop harming babies openly and protect civilians. So they had a quarrel this week. This shows that the Western countries they're getting frustrated. Even though they're supporting Israel, but they're getting embarrassed by what Israel is doing. Which means that US and Israel they're being isolated. Even French President Macron, this week, he told Israel to protect civilians. And of course, even Russian President Putin also. Russia always supports Israel, but with them, they're a bit neutral. They're calling on Israel to protect civilians. So Western countries, plus even Russia, plus even China, they are now coming out in full force to warn Israel to protect civilians. But of more interest are these Western countries, which before they were really supporting Israel. So maybe we are seeing some fallout happening here, some fallout. Because Spain, Canada, and even France, even France, these were the Western countries. And now even UK Home Secretary Braverman has been sacked because of her anti-Palestinian remarks. So slowly by slowly, Palestine is gaining more sympathy. And most likely US and Israel, they risk isolation unless they change their operation. Even AU and Arab League, they're all pro-Palestinian. They're calling for ceasefire, and AU says there's need for creation of a two-state solution. So far, people are wondering, how far will this go? Because it's like Gaza, people are now leaving Gaza. There's a Gaza exodus. But after all this conflict is over, will things go on as usual? Will things go on the way they were before? Will Israel's image be the same after this conflict is over? Like today, 2 schools have been attacked. This week, Gaza's biggest hospital was attacked, Alshifa. Who knows what will happen next week? So it's getting out of hand. And so far, from what we can see, US is strongly attached to Israel, which means that they are ready to go down with Israel. How many red lines will Israel have to cross for US to make them stop? But the question is, can US really make them stop? So it's like US has created a tiger that they can't control. That's why there's a high likelihood that this thing may bring down US and even Israel. Unless they stop earlier, they may go down together. Because now we're talking about serious war crimes happening. What more do you need to call war crimes? If babies are being deleted and civilians, schools are being attacked, hospitals are being raided, what more does the world need? So we hope that US will come back to their senses and become the human rights country that we know of, unless it is all a pretense and they're just hypocrites. Because so far it is not good at all. It's not good. Because so far they have handicapped UN from passing any ceasefire resolution. And as a result, people of Gaza have been forcefully evacuated from their homes. There have been so many civilian casualties, among other things. So I fear what will happen next because it's getting out of hand. So my view is that US, they are trapped. They created a tiger that they can't control. And that tiger is Israel. They can't control Israel. So most likely US will go down with Israel. They're on a suicidal mission with Israel. They may go down together. Because so far, Hamas has won the propaganda war and the PR war. So maybe Israel should change tact. So that's my view for today. Let me see your comment in the comment section.